Miss Birungi Lynda. She's a service provider with Reproductive Health Uganda, and she's going to help us dissect this conversation. Deep as it is, we're going to use the time we have together to, just take away some of these myths and misconceptions about contraception. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Well, I know. Let's talk about today's contraception uptake among the young people in Uganda today, because I know that there's a use of contraception that has increased. While we say that, yes, it has reduced the maternal mortality rate by over 40%. On the other side, it has also increased some of the rights that young people, advocate for themselves these days. Yes. The right to have sex.
The right to have sex. Yes, to some degree it has increased to a certain percentage, but we feel we need to put in more effort to make sure it gets better than that, so that we reduce the chances, of course, like you said, allow young people to have informed choices, and reduce chances of them getting unwanted pregnancies. Yes.
Okay. Let's talk about the present day myths that exist for young people, because I know this year's theme is around breaking barriers in that regard. What are the present day myths and misconceptions that do exist in our younger society about contraception?
There are quite many, but we will mention a few. Most young people have this thinking that if they start using family planning before they've had children, they may never have children, which is very wrong and very false. They think when you use family planning methods, there are certain things that will change. Maybe some conditions will come up. Some people believe that some family planning methods may cause maybe reproductive cancers. It is very wrong. So plenty of myths and misconceptions. Some people think that when you take, especially the young people, when you use certain family planning methods, you may end up not having any sexual desires, which is very wrong. But one thing I would want to tell the young people is run to a service provider or a health worker who has enough knowledge and skill to guide you on what best options you can use.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Speaking of options, I know that with technology and advancement, there's modern versions of already existing options and choices that are in the market. Could you talk to us about some of those modernities that have come through?
The modern methods. There are quite many. And there are those with the short-term methods, the long-term methods, and maybe the permanent methods. But maybe the permanent methods, we may not put so much time on them, because since our emphasis is more on young people. The short-term methods, we have several. We have the pills, which pills where you have to swallow a pill every day on time. Then we have injectables. We have the 1 month injection, which you take an injection every 4 weeks. It had been scarce, but now it's back on market. We have the 3 month injection, Cyana and Depot, where you get an injection every 3 months. And it has been put, like most of those methods, like Cyana, the person can even take several at home. They can keep injecting, especially like where they can't move so much, they don't have time to go to the health facilities. So they are facilitated, they are given knowledge and skill on how they can even inject themselves. We are trying to avoid those barriers that are stopping them from accessing some of these methods. Then we also have those long-term methods where we have the hormonal ones and the non-hormonal ones, where we have the 5-year method, a capsule we put under the arm, and a 3-year capsule, Implanon and Jadel respectively. And those are hormonal, but we also have hormonal IUDs for 5 years. We have non-hormonal IUDs that take 10 to 12 years. But one thing I want to tell the listeners or people watching is that all these methods are temporary methods. which you can adjust from one method to another. You can stop any time when you're ready to have children. Like we are saying, let's have children by choice, not by chance.
Okay.
Yes.
Those are good options in the market. However, there's several notions that have emerged worrying about the after effects of some of these. For example, the emergency pill. Most recently got to find out that for a woman, the most you can take an emergency pill in a year is twice, because of the effects that it has on your reproductive system, especially. And then it also comes down to knowing your menstrual cycle and how many days and how it works for you to then acquire some of these, which information seems to be scanty for the one who has to make the informed decision.
So the emergency pill, yes, you see, even when I was talking about the options, the different options, I didn't mention among the methods, but yes, we have it. And like the word emergency says, let's use it only in emergencies, but let's not use it as a family planning method, because like you said earlier, it has effects that it may cause on your reproductive system. Yes, they can be rectified, but they may put you in an anxiety mood that may not be good for you. Yes.
So what we're begging as society is contraception awareness, and effectiveness, and having as much knowledge of usage, and of course there are repercussions that come with it. We're talking about health here and humanity here. And so as a nation, are there any strides that we are actually embarking on, and especially with you as an implementing partner with the Ministry of Health, are there any strides that you are embarking on to create as much awareness of not just a contraception choice, but how this contraception choice can help you in the short term, in the long term? Yes.
Yes. One, of course, intensifying and creating awareness in every opportunity we have. Like one, when we get a radio talk show, when you go to the community and so on. So we are trying to create awareness, sensitize communities, young people in particular. That is one, two. We are also trying to engage young people. Have it on your own. Let them have the knowledge, let them pass on the knowledge to their fellow young people, and so on. And two, like we in our service delivery, we also try, because as RHU we don't do family planning as a service only. We manage STIs, we do HIV screening, we do testing, and even giving ARVs. So we do a variety. So every opportunity we have for anyone, whether male or female, whether elderly or young, everyone who walks into your office or into the clinic, we make sure we talk to them about family planning, so that even if they are not taking up an option, let them go and spread the news, spread the gospel. Yes. Okay.
With your engagements with the younger communities, what have they presented as challenges when it comes to accessing, these contraception options in the market?
Sometimes, most of the challenges are cost attached. Sometimes they come in, and of course young people, some of them are even in school, they don't have money. But those, we as reproductive health, and because we are a non-profit making organization, we find a way of handling them even when they walk in and they don't have money. The other challenge could be myths and misconceptions. But one thing I would encourage young people, walk to a health facility, walk to a service provider who has enough knowledge. Ask all the questions you want, and I'm sure they will be answered. The other challenges are maybe stigma. Sometimes they listen so much to their colleagues, and instead of getting first-hand information to the people with enough knowledge, they listen so much to their fellow young people, which may not help them. And by the time they remember to get the rightful information, it is too late. Maybe they're already pregnant, maybe they have gone into acts that are putting their health at risks, and so much more. Okay. Yes.
So when it comes to the triple A's, We look at accessibility, availability, and then we
And
also look at affordability.
Yes.
How would you encourage communities? How would you encourage policymakers? How would you encourage families? How would you encourage the healthcare providers to actually ensure that those triple A's are catered to in this conversation of making informed choices on contraception?
Yes, I would encourage all partners, all organizations, health workers, Ministry of Health, to make sure all these mentioned advanced methods are available. The health workers have got the best trainings and skills to provide these services, but also most important is awareness, because sometimes the young people are walking to the counters to buy some of these methods, but are they making the right informed choices? That is the thing I want to put in quotes.
Provider giving them information before dispensing them.
Before dispensing, are they making informed choices?
Yes.
That's the most important thing. So awareness, 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 and making sure everything's provided. The health workers are trained. The equipment to be used are there, the supplies are there, and the facilities to work, the structures. But also, with the health workers, let's welcome the young people. Sometimes we send them away. The way we receive them matters if they will encourage other young people to come along.
Okay.
Yes.
Yesterday was World Contraception Day, and I know as a country this weekend we'll be having our commemoration of the day. Could you talk to us about those, those events? What's the particular theme for us as Uganda?
The particular theme is breaking the barrier, and the barrier for young people to access family planning, but it will be commemorated by it will be celebrated in Chenjojo, and two, RHU as an organization, all clinics are actually providing free family planning services. Walk in and you'll be given whatever you want at no cost. But we have different branches. In Kampala we have Bwaise and head office Katego, Kampala. Then in the east we have Viganga, we have Mbale, we have Kapchora, we have Tororo. In the north we have Lira, we have Apache, we have Arua. Then in the west we have Mbarara, Bushenyi, Kabale, we have Potopotro, we have Mitiana, we have almost 19 branches. So please, I encourage young people and everyone, not necessarily, as much as the theme is we are focusing on young people, but even everyone, please walk in and access those free services. Okay. Yes,
speaking of young people, the mindset is that we just need to protect ourselves in engaging in sex. But then again, we have to look at it holistically, that it's reproductive health.
Yes.
Do you feel that they get to understand that the choices they're making are for reproductive health, not necessarily for sex?
Not necessarily for sex, not necessarily in quotes for family planning, but it's for their reproductive healthy benefits. Yes. So when they walk in or when they come in, not necessarily should they get information on maybe family planning, but please, let's try and let them also ask questions all about reproductive health, because in the long run they tag along. You can't have one thing at the same time. You're having family planning because you do not want to conceive, but how about if you conceive? Where are you supposed to go, and what are you supposed to do? If you conceive, where should I go for antenatal? You know, that kind of thing. It's holistic, like you said. Yes.
Okay. All right. Miss Lynda Birungi, your closing remarks on contraception and people making informed choices.
Yes, I just encourage everyone, but more especially young people, to walk in and make informed choices on what. Let them come for enough knowledge. We are there to help them, to provide the services, and even give them the necessary information. let them not sit back and listen to their colleagues who may not have the right full packages, so that they can be helped and we reduce on the numbers of people who are getting unwanted pregnancies.
Okay, well,
yes,
thank
please.
you so much.
You're welcome.
And Reproductive Health Uganda, across its branches here in Uganda, is going to be offering you free services as far
for
as
this week.
This particular week until the end of the month. They'll be offering you free services in regards to reproductive health and contraception choices that you can make. And so feel free to engage them, and you'll be able to get these services and some of these products. This marks the end of this dialogue. We're going to be returning shortly with more conversations. Do not go away.